Forest managers here in New Mexico are preparing for this year's wildfire season. The spring and summer in our area is predicted to be wetter than average, and that could be a good thing. But there's still steps forestry officials are taking to prepare for a range of possible issues. Our producer Sarah Gustavus sat down with our state forester this week to learn more.
Tony Delphine from New Mexico State Forester, thanks for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So we New Mexicans, we know wildfires, they're a part of life here. What are you expecting this year?
This year we've really gotten a break so far with the spring moisture, and the winds haven't been as bad as they have in the past few years. So this year we expect a slower start to fire season, but we still think we might have a typical fire season, perhaps the end of May if we don't get continued timely moisture, and in June when it gets hotter and drier.
I've seen some maps online too, some predictions that it might be wetter all the way through the summer. Is that a good thing?
That would be great. We could sure use, New Mexico could sure use the break. We've been in a drought situation for a long time and we could use the moisture.
Now, we've had some record-breaking wildfires in recent years, the Los Conchos wildfire, the Whitewater Baldy Complex fire. Will more moisture, fewer fires help those areas recover? What does that mean for the ecosystem?
Absolutely. The plants that grow after the wildfire, they need moisture to get the desirable species healthy and to help the ecosystem recover after these big, especially the more catastrophic wildfires.
You know, I think some people might hear that it might not be as bad this year. They say, oh, we don't need to worry. Do we still need to be looking at this situation?
Oh, sure, because in New Mexico, you know, we're apt to dry out. What happens is the lighter fuel types like grasses and shrubs, they'll dry out first. It doesn't take too long for them to be at risk for wildfire and a fire. We might not be looking at as many, if we're lucky, at as many big catastrophic drastic fires, but we could sure have smaller fires that could be destructive. You know, you don't have to have a really big 100 or 1,000 acre fire to burn homes or to really cause trouble. If the fires are near highways, smoke could get across highways and cause traffic problems and traffic accidents. So it's really important that people are careful with fire and are really aware of the circumstances here in New Mexico and in the Southwest.
What's different about a grass fire versus a forest fire?
The grass fire, it's just the main difference is, of course, the fuel type. The forest fuels are a lot heavier and they change slower in terms of how much, in terms of reacting to the moisture. Grass fire will be more flashy. It tends to get bigger, faster. It's also easier to contain if the fire's not too big and too wind driven. So they're still wildland fires. The same principle applies, but they are a little bit different in terms of how you try to attack them.
I'm curious about what wildfire managers or forest managers are doing right now to prepare for this wildfire season, to prepare for these contingencies that we might see.
In terms of New Mexico, we're working with our interagency partners, the U.S. Forest Service, the BLM, local and county, municipal fire departments. We're doing training, we're doing our fire refreshers. People are taking their physical fitness tests for the upcoming season. And we're bringing fire crews on to prepare, you know, for the worst case scenario, but we're hoping for the best.
Are they thinning out some areas in the forest?
We've got quite a few watershed management projects going on, as well as forest thinning projects around communities to help protect them from upcoming fire season. So we've got, as a matter of fact, Governor Martinez signed into approved $6.2 million of watershed restoration projects last season. We're already implementing those. We've got those projects going on throughout the state. So yeah, there's quite a few thinning forest management type projects going on across agencies. The U.S. Forest Service, the BLM, State Forestry, State Land Office, we're all working together to try and improve the health of the forest.
We often think about New Mexico, what these fires mean for us here in the state, but let's not forget about our neighbors in other western states. What are we seeing regionally in the West right now for wildfires?
In New Mexico, we work hand in hand with Arizona. We share resources back and forth. I think they're in the same situation that we are in terms of the early moisture and looking at hopefully not as bad a fire season as in the past. But our other western states that we partner with, for example, the Pacific Northwest is in real difficult position right now. They haven't gotten the moisture. California's in a severe drought. We expect the West to have a very active fire season. And when we have a very active fire season, we rely on help from other states. And we're here if we can afford to send some people without losing our capacity here to other states to help them, we do that too.
It really seems like public perception about how to manage our forests and how to work with these fires, with what fires naturally need to occur, but keeping them away from homes, Los Alamos National Laboratory, important places. How do you think public perception's changed in recent years?
I think in recent years, as well as in the past 10 years or even more, I think the public perception regarding forest management is changed quite a bit. There are a lot of places around New Mexico where 10, 15 years ago, there were a lot of people that didn't want us to cut any trees or do any thinning projects, but now everybody, most people realize that around communities that it's important to thin out the fuels, especially in unhealthy forest ecosystems. It's important to thin those out so that the forest can be more healthy and resilient to wildfire and resilient to insect and disease epidemics, so that the communities will be more safe from an approaching wildfire.
And you mentioned just a moment ago Governor Martinez putting some money, approving some funding for watershed management. Does your department have the funding it needs for other kinds of management like you just spoke?
We do have the watershed funding, as well as funding for urban interface thinning around communities from the state funding as well as federal funding. And New Mexico is one of the few states that actually put state resources to the management of watersheds across jurisdictional boundaries. So we're not just putting money on state and private property with our state funding, we're putting it across any place the watershed needs some improvement or some protection. That's where we're focusing our efforts.
And what do you need New Mexicans to do to support forestry management and prepare for wildfires in the future?
I would say that the most important thing right now is for people to just not become complacent, because we've had moisture. We will dry out at some point. Before you know it, the grasses will be really susceptible to wildfire. So it's better if they really pay attention to the circumstances around them. If they're driving around off the road, not to park off into high grass, because catalytic converters and exhaust systems can cause fires. If people have campfires, of course, the same old traditional methods of putting out the campfire till it's dead out. All those things are really important, and also mitigating the forest fuels around their homes. If they've got firewood stacked up against their house, remove that. If they've got ladder fuels and leaves and different flammable materials around their house, to take care of that so that they can better protect their own homes.
We'll keep an eye on this summer as season progresses. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.